Welcome back. Been a while since I did one of these, right? I know the last time I promised I would do last episode of Rick and Morty from last season. Very simple. Other than the fact they were trying to, save Rick's daughter right off the bat. Guess what? It ended up basically being a replay of the entire season. And yeah, it even went over the stupid Easter episode. One of the worst episodes of the series. Now I'm back and I can actually do ReZero. Where did we leave off the last time? Oh yeah, Subaru somehow got into the tower. And this girl comes up to him, scantily clad, as he goes unconscious. When he wakes up, he's on Amelia's lap. Okay. It must have been a dream, right? No, it wasn't. He walks out, and there's Beatrice, and guess what happens? Oh, yeah, the scantily clad woman comes up to him and attacks him by hugging him. Which led to one of the funniest parts of the whole episode. When Amelia saw it, and when Subaru begging to be helped, like the person, she was obviously in a bear hug. What does she do? Kicks him in the back. One of the funniest moments of the season. My favorite part is that Amelia had no idea. She's just mad and just figures, I had to take it out on Subaru, who's being hugged by the scantily clad girl. They established they're in the tower. Everybody's there, including Fox Echidna, Rom, Julius, and the rest. And of course, they walk up to the first part, which involved another white room. And believe me, in the next these two episodes, be very used to the white background. You're going to get a lot of it here. And yeah, it's very bright. So if you have vision problems, well, these episodes aren't good for you, are they? Not like they're trying to save money, are they? Obviously, Rem is currently being treated for her wounds, which ironically cannot be cured by the tree that sends out healing spirits. However, Patrice, who got injured in the previous episode, is being healed. So we find out later there's trials. And they have to go to the first one, which is another white room. And how the episode ends. Subaru gets an idea after he sees an obelisk. And no, this one does not show him like a future Subaru dying in a bed, only to be reborn as Star Child. I know, you guys. Space Odyssey 2001. Wasn't expecting that reference, were you? If you weren't, I have no idea where you were the last couple of centuries. Subaru later finds out that the obelisks are basically in a pattern very quickly. So he has to jump. He looks up and he knows it's the night sky from Earth. And that the one he should be looking at is Orion. Why? Because Orion's right next to a star called Shala. Shala was a scorpion that attacked Orion. He figured that Betelgeuse was probably not the star he should attack. He should go for Rigel. I could do a Futurama joke here of Rigel 5, but I'm skipping it. He touches Rigel and he gets into the library. And that's how episode 4 ends. Overall, some of the funny moments are very funny. And it's kind of interesting. This is the first episode in a while we haven't seen Subaru die. By the way, also in episode 4, we found out that Shala was the one that was killing Subaru, for the most part, when he wasn't having his head eaten off by Patrice. At least it wasn't a witch, was it? Episode 2, and how does it begin? Subaru says that the person was definitely demented who built the tower. Really nice jump to conclusion, right? Subaru starts reading the books, and out of nowhere, we find that we're getting a backstory for Python. Yeah, I wasn't expecting a character who only shows up for maybe about 20 minutes of season two, and only saw her body in season three for a couple seconds to have her backstory read for us. Apparently, her father was a executioner, and yeah, they use the symbolism of having one side black, one side white, basically showing how some people view justice as simply black or white, no gray, whatever. You really want to see it, read Watchmen, especially on the character Rorschach. Anyway, Python accidentally breaks her father's cup. She immediately apologizes and takes responsibility, which her father actually was very admirable for, except that she's very admirable. And she decides that the simplest way to judge people is through the heart, and it's only there where you can judge whether they be killed or not. And yeah, it led to one of the creepiest parts of the series when she starts asking a person who's been executed, "So, have you done something bad?" Just something the way these voice actors said it is creepy. And then watching the person just break apart. And then she does it to the person next to her, and then to her father, which really is disturbing. And then watching the wind just blow the ashes away. Yeah, we weren't exactly expecting a backstory for her, but here we are. Back at the library, they start realizing that the books are only for about people's lives who have passed away and have to be people you've known or come in contact with. As you know, the witches' tea parties were basically Python basically got in touch with Subaru. The Witch of Pride. Now, I mean, kind of interesting you're able to find Regulus or some other character, but nope. We're only going to deal with that one person. So I guess we're going to move on. Now, I do like the fact that when you get back to Shala, how Shala, for all intents and purposes, is like kind of like a Genki girl towards Subaru. Very energetic and pretty much very wants to hug him pretty much every moment. However, we later find out that even though Subaru asked him in the previous episode not to harm the party, she reveals that she's actually has a prior promise that simply says, yes, she has to hurt anybody who defiles the trials or wrecks the tower. My favorite part is that Meili decides that, and somehow has a connection. My favorite part is watching when she's describing everything, Meili quietly walking up in the background, smiling before she grabs the bow on top of her head. By the way, we later find a little bit about Meili's backstory too, because Subaru asked about it. I guess because he learned about Python. Well, let's find out about this demented person we're right next to. The fact that she's an orphan and was raised by Mob Beast. And you haven't figured out by now, Shala is not a fairy. There's a good chance she might be a Mob Beast. Spoiler! So now they have to get to get to the second trial. How do they do it? Well, Amelia figures out. Now, I should Amelia is pretty much the mentality of a person in grade school. My favorite part is that when Super starts admonishing Shala for all intents and purposes, lying to him about making a promise, Amelia immediately goes up and tells him, like, hey, you got to keep your promises, like a little kid. And she's the one that figures out, oh, wait, if we go back out, maybe there's a stairway there. They go out, there's a huge stairway there out of the library. And of course, they climb up. And once again, enter another white room. This time, it's a sword that activates the whole thing. They pull it out, and well, lo and behold, we have a ginger warrior in front of us. Nice long red hair. Who ironically is very drunk. I'm surprised the internet hasn't gotten crazy about this guy yet. It's not like he's the original sword saint. Yeah, figured out by now he's von Astria. But he hasn't said it yet in the episode. Anyway, these two episodes were pretty interesting. And yeah, Subaru didn't die once. First time since episode 1. I had a pretty good time watching it. This will probably, as you said, at the beginning of this review, I did talk about Rick and Morty. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a little more live streams. Rick and Morty come back on the air at the end of this month. I could do it along with my ReZero reviews. As you know, thank you, by the way, for watching my quick reviews on the short subject videos. Anywho, by the way, I did watch Hoppers over the weekend. I'm going to say this. Did anyone notice that Jerry's actually a good mayor? And that the main character is completely irreprehensible? She yells about everything. She's basically what a child would be like if you never say no. I mean, she bit someone when she was a child. She often demands people to follow her way pretty much for everything. I have to say this, the Beaver King is the MVP of the movie. And for his chill way, he definitely shows why he should be a leader. And why people like Mabel should be put down. I'm giving that movie a B-. It's good to at least see Pixar put some effort into a movie again. I did a movie review. There you go. Wasn't expecting that. Were you? Anywho, ReZero had 2 very good episodes. And I've clearly gone beyond the time limit I set for myself. Anyway, I'll see you again when Rick and Morty come on the air. Until then, I will be releasing quick reviews again. So be on the lookout on my channel. Until then, bye. Bye.